Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster. Welcome you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. You know, last week we talked about all the high school football and volleyball teams here in the Birmingham-Jefferson County area that are having outstanding seasons thus far. Let's go at it in a little bit different direction this evening. Like in Class A, for instance, one game that I would love to see come playoff time, and we may see it unless something changes, is the Hoover-Hewitt-Trussville game. Hewitt-Trussville having an outstanding season. Hoover always does. They could be headed on a collision course come playoff time. Clay Chalkville and Minor both to have pretty good football teams. It'll be interesting to see how far they go in the playoffs this year in Class 6A and Class 5A. Mortimer Jordan's the only team ranked in Class 4A leads, and in AISA, of course, Bessemer Academy is still doing very well. In the girls volleyball here at the midway point in the season, you've got 4 teams in Class 7A in the top 10, including Mountain Brook, Bob Jones, Vestavia Hills, Oak Mountain, and Spain Park. Make that 5. And then Helena and John Carroll in 6A, Hayden in 5A. The Bessemer Academy is once again doing really well with their volleyball team. Of course, we talked to you about a new sponsor coming on board, and we look forward to that relationship. And it's Andrew Sports Medicine. The message we want to give to you this week, the world-renowned sports medicine physician and orthopedic surgeons at Andrew Sports Medicine Orthopedic Center bring decades of experience and dedicated research in their respective fields. They're highly trained orthopedic specialists providing the most advanced sports medicine available in the United States. This group is well known for being affiliated with sports medicine providers for the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Auburn Tigers, Jacksonville State Gamecocks, Sanford Bulldogs, and dozens of high school programs in the central Alabama area. And they're available, and you can get a hold of them, folks, if you would. If you have that athletic mindset like I do and a lot of us do, you can get the experts at Andrew Sports Medicine aggressively pursue victory over every injury. Go to andrewsportsmedicine.com to start making your comeback. And once again, Andrew Sports Medicine, they're the providers you need to be talking with. Take a quick break. We come back. Our first guest of the evening.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Now, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
And folks, welcome back. In our first segment, we're going to be visiting with one of the 2 coaches we talked about when we were having on the show tonight. And it was going to be Reuben Nelson, the head coach of the Ramsey football team, but Coach won't be here. He sent his assistant instead. We're talking about Levert Andrews. And Coach, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
First of all, before we get to talking about the team and the players and what y'all have done so far this year, tell us a little bit about your background, how you ended up being on the staff there with Coach Nelson.
Definitely. Coach Nelson and I coached together at Midfield. Been coaching now, we started coaching together 11 years ago at Midfield. He left Midfield to start the program at Ramsey 5-6 years ago, and he went over, and I eventually came over and joined him 4 years ago. So I've been on the staff now for 4 years. Okay,
well then that's encouraging to know, because the questions I can ask you, then you've got the familiarity with the teams. So let's talk about this year's team. Off to a 4-1 start, yes. I believe. Had what I guess y'all would determine or describe as a disappointing loss this past weekend. Now, I don't know how realistically I understand this was a pretty good football team y'all
Very
played.
good team.
But a lot of times, coaches sometimes find out a lot about their teams, and it's easy to, as the old saying goes, it's easy to be a winner. It's tough to be a loser, because but that's where you learn your most important lessons sometimes, is from losing. You have to pick yourself up and get back on track. And I know this was a road trip. Y'all went to Grayson, Georgia, I think, right?
Yes.
Talk about that experience. I know the outcome wasn't one that you coaches wanted, but I know good and well it was a game you felt like you could probably be pretty competitive in.
Definitely. Like I said, I've been coaching with Coach Nelson for 11 years, well, known him for 11 years and been in his system. It was something he always wanted to do. Take a team out of town, have opportunity to play a nationally ranked team. Most teams never get that opportunity. Right. The guys took advantage of it. We had a nice trip. We took the guys, went to the College Hall of Fame in Atlanta, went out to eat, and just had some team bonding. The game didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but I think we grew as a team. Like you said, you can learn a lot in a loss. It didn't hurt what we had going in our season. It has no effect on what we're doing. So we're just going to take it, rebound, and look forward and trying to win this region.
Well, I know that I think that y'all's upcoming game with Jackson Olin, I believe, is that a region game for you guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the one thing I would want to ask you, Coach, talk about this year's team, and you've been very successful to this point. Talk about the three phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams.
Well, on offense, it would have to start with our quarterback. He's a 3-year starter. He's a very run pass guy, very, very smart on the field.
Dual threat.
Dual threat quarterback. But just doesn't begin with him. We have a lot of athletes on the field, a lot of guys who played young because we had such a young program. So a lot of our seniors, we have 24 seniors. So a lot of those guys have been playing for 3 or 4 years now. And so we just have a lot of experience on offense, on defense, special teams, we have a lot of guys who just have a lot of experience.
Well, one thing, and you said it just a moment ago, that I want you to talk about just a little bit, because a lot of coaches don't experience what you guys have, Coach Nelson in particular, and that's starting a program up from scratch. There's got to be a lot of the same challenges, but a lot of the different challenges. Talk about that from what you've seen in your 4 years there.
Well, there are a lot of challenges, specifically at a school like Ramsey. We're at a landlocked school, so we don't have a lot of facilities. We have 18 different sports programs at our school, but only 3 practice on campus. So it's a lot of change. And our guys, I tell them all the time, they're very mentally tough. We have a lot of mentally tough guys because they go through things that other players at other schools don't go through. And it just made us a better team, better program. We always talk about what we have, not what we don't have.
Well, I know that the upcoming season, what have y'all played? 2 or 3? 3, I guess, region games already. And so you probably have 6 or 7 teams in your region?
7 teams.
7. So you got 6 region games,
Yes.
and you're 3-0. And so right now, barring a total collapse, which I know you guys don't foresee, and I also know those players don't foresee it, it looks like you've got a playoff team. Now, with that thought in mind, of course, you still got to go out and win some games.
Definitely.
So how much do you stress the point that we need to win as many as we can, because it's not about being one of the 4 that get in there. You'd love to be one of the top 2 because that home field advantage or playing in that familiar situation where you play your home games. Do y'all play at Lawson? Or?
Yes. Our home games are at Lawson. And definitely you want to try to get that first or second seed so you can get the home field advantage. But it really doesn't matter, I believe, this year because our cross region is so tough. We're crossing over with Region 6.
Right.
So we're looking at Minor and Clay Chalkville and Gardendale and Pinson Valley and some real good teams either way we go. So that home field would definitely help, but we're going to have to be prepared and ready to play football no matter who we play. We know that going into the playoffs, we have to win and be a disciplined team. So all the teams in the playoff are good.
Yeah, well, Coach, let's get selfish just a little moment here. Let's talk about you in particular. How many years you been in coaching?
11 years.
11. Now, let me ask you this, and some coaches feel this way, some don't. I'd be sort of curious how you feel about it. Do you have aspirations one day of being a head football coach?
Definitely, we all do. I'm the head baseball coach at Ramsey.
I remember him saying that.
So I've been a head baseball coach for 11 years. I was the head baseball coach at midfield, and I've been doing double duty. God has me in a position right now as the head baseball coach. Coach Nelson and I are friends. That's why I'm here. He needed me to do something, and I'm just going to help him and do whatever I need to help the team. I'm all about the team. I'm a team guy. Like I said, we got 24 seniors, and when you got that many seniors and that many role players, everybody has to kind of put themselves on the back burner, and it's all about the team. So I'm a Ramsey Ram.
Well, I tell you what, I'm sure that's what the coaches feel about each other, what the players like to hear, that the coaches are putting them first. And so far, you, along with Coach Nelson and the rest of y'all's staff, you're on the way to what could be a special type season. And you never can tell. Sometimes those losses, you hope to grow from them.
Definitely.
And right now, you've got the important games coming up, but the most important thing, you've had a good season thus far. I wish you good luck the rest of the way. Nice to meet you. Now we're going to, in a few seconds, visit with some of your players, okay? We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, a couple of athletes that are some of the main reasons that Ramsey's had a great first half of the year. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I got two outstanding young athletes here. Both of them are seniors. Sitting right next to me, Carlos Hudson, a senior, and he's a defensive end, right?
Yes, sir.
And then Austin Brundage, a senior, and you're a linebacker. Okay, well, we'll start with you, Carlos. Going into this year, you've been playing football how long there at Ramsey?
I've been playing ever since my 9th grade year.
Oh, okay, so you've been in the program a good while. Going into this season, one, what did you expect out of yourself for this season? And two, what did you expect out of your team?
Well, out of myself, I expected to rise and become a leader. 2 years ago, I was the second string. And ever since I became a starter, I realized that I got people that's behind me and expecting me to become a leader. So that's why I expected to become a leader this year. And as for a team, well, ever since my 9th grade year, we grow. The 9th grade year, we came in as kids, coming in the field, coach just throwing us out there, and he was just throwing us to the dogs. And then 10th grade year, we started to grow a little bit more. That's how we became a playoff contender. 11th grade year, we started getting more experience, and now senior year, we're ready to get the ring.
Well, that thing about also being a senior, you know of what's expected out of yourself, but you know the coaches expect leadership.
Yes, sir.
And do you really relish that role that you need to be a model for the guys younger than you?
Most definitely, and not just for the teammates, but also for the school. Say, for example, the school, tuck our shirts in, do right in class, stay in front of the class and all that. Show the kids in ninth grade that you don't always have to be a class clown to get attention.
Right. Well, that's terrific. Austin, how about you? Have you been playing football 3 or 4 years too?
Yes, sir.
And being a defensive end, it would seem like to me you're one of these guys that you'd rather hit than be hit.
Yes, sir. I play linebacker.
Oh, do you? Okay. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Linebacker. You're absolutely right. Now, having said linebacker, what college or professional linebacker, if you could have a game like theirs one day, who do you enjoy watching, or who would you like to be like?
I would really like to be like Ray Lewis when he played at Miami. His domination on the field and off the field in the classroom, leading his team and making that statement that he is the best Hurricane that ever came through Miami.
Well, I tell you what, there's absolutely nothing wrong with us having lofty goals for each other as well as our team. Going into this year, being a senior, what team on your schedule do you enjoy playing, look forward to playing maybe more than another?
The team that I look forward to playing this year was Parker, because they had beat us twice, my 10th grade year and my 11th grade year, and we felt as though this year we had put in all the work from the summer of that last game to now, and we came out with an amazing victory.
Well, now, has it surprised you the success you and your teammates have had thus far this year?
No, sir. It surprises us when we do horrible and when we don't execute plays the way that we have in practice, because we put in so much work throughout the whole summer and the off season that the game should be easy, practice should be hard.
Right. Well, the one thing about it too, whatever you do in practice, you'd like to be able to duplicate, if not do better in games. That's what that is all about. Well, guys, I've never met y'all before. One question I enjoy asking young athletes: is there a superstition, or is there something about you that makes you unique, or what could you tell me about you that would surprise you? I'll give you an example. Let's say I write poetry on the side, although I don't think that's what you do. But is there something about me that might surprise me?
You do the branch trick, I gotta think.
Do what now?
Say, can you pass it to branch?
Oh, well, absolutely. Now, is there some? Now, another example, you might like golf, but you may not. You know, you might like fishing or hunting. What is that I'd like to know about you?
On the side, I like to watch MMA, wrestling, and kickboxing and stuff like that.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you know that wrestling, most of it's fake, right?
Yes, sir.
But you've got, wait a minute.
No.
Now don't laugh. Don't laugh like that, Carlos, because let me tell you what. You got to be a great athlete to do what they do and really not get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know. Going into the second half of the season, is there any doubt in your mind that if you and your teammates keep playing the way you are, that maybe y'all can go not only make the playoffs, but go deep into them?
No doubt in my mind. Ever since the Grayson loss, I feel it lit a fire in our hearts. And no team wants to lose, and especially losing to a national team, coming so close and thinking we were going to win, all that. So
yeah.
I think we're going to come back.
Well, I tell you what, do both of you guys, one or both of you, do you hope to go to college next year? If you do, more important than that, what kind of courses would you like to take? What would you hope to be one day?
Well, after high school, I plan on going to the Air Force.
Really? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And make a career out of that then?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I also still continue my education and getting a degree in aviation.
Oh, okay. So you don't know if one day in the back of your mind you might end up trying to get into high school coaching or something like that? Would that be something you might consider?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Still thinking about it.
How about you, Austin?
Well, after high school, I want to go to college and I want to major in psychology. and I want to be a therapist, and one day I do want to be a coach.
Really? Yeah. Well, I tell you what, coaches, that's a special occupation, and one of the reasons I think it is because you can affect so many people's lives. And in your case, y'all are living examples of it. You're affecting the young men, and the one thing I've always said about coaches, they have two great jobs. One, they prepare you for that great game you're going to play on Friday night, right? Yes. But the other thing is they prepare you for life after high school. And that's just as important, if not more important, than the first one. So that's one reason I have such a high standard and think so much of these high school coaches. Well, one question I always like to end an interview on, to this point in your young lives, yes, who's been the most inspirational person or persons in your life? We'll start with you, Carlos.
Well, I like to say my dad and my older brother. My dad, he teach me how to become humble. And my oldest brother, he taught me how to become a leader and how to set an example for not only your younger siblings, but those around you.
How about you, Austin?
I would have to say our athletic trainer, Coach Otis Leverett. He has been inspirational in my life, on and off the field. When I get in certain life situations, I think about stuff he's told me, and it leads me in the right direction.
Well, I tell you what, guys, so far it looks like y'all are doing a terrific job, not only on the field, but off the field, okay? And I want to wish you good luck the rest of the season. And I'll tell you this, y'all win a state championship, we'll have you back up here to celebrate, okay?
Yes, sir.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, another coach, more guests to come. Don't you go away.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, once again, I want to tell you a little bit about Andrews Sports Medicine. The world-renowned sports medicine physicians and orthopedic surgeons at Andrews Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center bring decades of experience and dedicated research in their respective fields. They are highly trained orthopedic specialists providing the most advanced sports medicine available in the United States. This group is well known for being the official sports medicine providers for the Alabama Crimson Tide, the Auburn Tigers, Jacksonville State Gamecocks, Samford Bulldogs, and dozens of high school programs in the central Alabama area. However, they are also available to provide care to all those folks like you and me who have an athletic mindset. The experts at Andrews Sports Medicine aggressively pursue victory over every injury. Go to theandrewsportsmedicine.com to start making your comeback today. And folks, welcome back. In this segment, we'll be visiting with one of the better young coaches here in the Birmingham-Jefferson County area. Of course, we're talking about Chris Bell of the Oak Mountain Eagles. Coach, awfully good to see you.
Well, it's good to see you. Thanks for calling me young. I don't know that I would qualify anymore.
Yeah, well, when you sit next to me, you're young. You're young. Coach, as we get into this interview, for people that might be seeing you the first time, tell us about your background and what led you there to Oak Mountain.
It's my 5th year at Oak Mountain, originally from Richmond, Virginia. I've coached all over the place. My oldest daughter likes to tell people that when she entered the 9th grade, that was the 8th different school she'd been to in her first 9-10 years of schooling. We came over here in 2012. Came directly from Marietta High School, where at the time I'd been a year as the special teams coordinator and linebacker coach, and prior to that I was the AD and head football coach at a small private Christian school south of Atlanta.
Okay. When I know coming into to the Birmingham area, you knew there was going to be a challenge ahead of you. Some good football programs, good football coaches here, but also some very good athletes. Now going into this season, you guys have had what you'd call maybe an average year thus far, but the games that make your seasons lie right ahead of you. And of course, we're talking about working your way toward the playoffs if it's in those cards. Coach, before we get further into the conversation, tell me a little bit about this year's team and sort of talk about them from offense, defense, and special teams.
Well, it's a young group, and I think that's that's been we've spent the first couple of weeks here. I think trying to find ourselves and get our feet up under us and gaining a sense of confidence. And we've got a good group. We've got 2 seniors here tonight to visit with us that have played an awful lot of good football. One's been a 3-year starter, one of them's a 2-year starter. And they are certainly giving us a boost. But I think we've got a lot of guys that, like I said, are young or are seniors that are playing for the first time. We didn't, come out of the gates quite like we had wanted to. We had a great off season. Summer workouts were great. We felt really good coming into things. But just as what happens sometimes with a young ball club, we struggled early. We just trying to maybe find our identity. I lost our starting quarterback the second ball game of the year. Had a sophomore come in and fill in, and he had a little bit of a rough start, but he has really started to settle into things, and last couple of weeks has really played like a veteran. Had a great ball game against Vestavia, and then finished very, very well against Thompson. Came back and we had a last minute drive and scored on the last play of the game, and he was he looked like Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, those guys as he was directing our offense. Daniel Salkert, who's with us tonight, halfback, and like I said, he's a 3-year starter for us. He's a guy that we know we're going to get his best every Friday night, and has been steady for us, like I said, for 3 years. He's a guy that when he runs the football, he's going to make something happen with it. Does a good job when the ball's not in his hands. He's good out of the backfield catching the ball. Our line up front, I've been really pleased with. We actually had 4 starters back up front on the offensive line, 2 returning seniors, 2 returning juniors, and then we've got another senior that stepped in. Although we lost one of those seniors after the week after the Vestavia ball game, and had a junior come in and start for the first time last week against Thompson and did a super job for us. Our receiving core is as good as we've had since I've been here, and again, we're just now starting to find ourselves and get to it. Defensively, we're small, pretty quick, but we're awfully small up front. We've got to do a lot of moving and get guys. We try to sit up there and go toe to toe with those big rascals we got to play against. We're not going to fare real well. So we're working on moving those guys and getting them out and into space and getting to where we can make some plays.
I know you said that you did a lot of moving around before you got to Oak Mountain. Is Oak Mountain the school you've been at the longest thus far in your career?
It will consecutively, yes. Mm-hmm. I was at Hampton-Sydney College, which is where I played, but I coached there for 5 years, but I was there for 3, left for a year, and came back for 2. So the most I've been in any place is 5, but I've never been in any one place 5 consecutively before Oak Mountain. So,
the reason I say that is you have been there and you've had more time than you've had at most places. Right. But there's a couple of things about that. I know you have what you expect, you have what you want your program to be, but a lot of times it's determined by the athletes you either have or do not have. And sometimes coaches are blessed with good athletes. I'm one of these guys, I'm a firm believer. You show me a team that's made up of good athletes and a good coach, and I'll show you a team with a possibility that they're going to end up being a pretty good team. Right. And so, having said that, do you see your football program growing in your community? And I guess one of the best ways you can see that is, do you have more and more people coming out to play football?
Well, we do, and our numbers have grown each year. My first year, we dressed on Friday nights. We were right about 61, 62 that we dressed. This year, we're dressing 92. So, that's a 30-person increase on Friday night that we've gotten to our program. We've got just over 130 total in our program. About 135, I think, when you count our ninth graders in it. And we're as deep as we've ever been. We've had some good football players come through. We've got, I think right now, we've got 12 young men that have been in our program that are playing somewhere collegiately, maybe a couple more than that. We've had a couple get injured or whatnot that aren't playing, but we're right around 12. That came through our first 4 years that are playing somewhere. So we've always had good players, but now we're starting to get to the point where we've got, we can go too deep at more positions, where
Right.
before we were so thin, and now we feel real good about it, and it helps us in practice because we're practicing against better people.
Right now, halfway through the season, what's your region record?
We are 2-1 in the region.
Okay, so that gives you a good start as you head into the second half of the season.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
got Hoover coming up this Friday night, and of course that's always a strong test. But you're in a good position to where if the team plays as well the second half they have the first half, you guys should end up in some kind of playoff spot.
Well, we ought to, and we told our kids, we hold our destiny in our hands, and we go out there and we win, and we're going to be okay. If we go out there and dumb around and put it in somebody else's hand, that's what happened to us last year, then we're probably not going to like the results.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, a couple of things about it. One is I know you're an outstanding coach. Two, the longer you are at somewhere, you have a better chance to build the program into something the way you want it, the athletes you're looking for. Of course, you deal with what is in the community.
Oh, yeah.
But the biggest thing, like you talked about, is you've seen growth in your football team, growth in your players, and it looks like you're headed in that right direction.
We're excited about it.
Off, good to see you. Hope you have a great second half of the season, playoff bound.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to visit a couple of his players. Been very instrumental in the good start they've gotten off to. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling one-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well. And folks, welcome back. And as you can tell, I got two outstanding young athletes sitting closest to me. Daniel Salkert, a senior halfback, and Ming Lee, a senior linebacker. All right, guys, going into your senior season, first of all, Daniel, what did you expect out of yourself as an individual and out of your team as a group?
Well, I just knew I needed to work harder because sophomore year and junior year, we made some good progress sophomore year, but junior year we fell short. Sophomore year, we fell short too. I just knew I needed to give more. And I think that's what our team's going to do, just give more.
Okay, now Ming, one question I'll ask you. How many years you been playing football?
I started in 7th grade.
7. So you've been playing your whole career over here at Oak Mountain.
Yes,
One question I asked the coach, I'll ask you as a player. In the last 2 or 3 years since you've been on the varsity, how have you seen it grow?
I think I've definitely seen it grow from where he's been preaching. We have to do the little things right and just having to go at full speed everywhere we go and just doing our best ability.
When I tell you what, one thing that a coach, you guys being seniors, expects a lot out of is leadership from the seniors, for the younger guys to be a positive influence, not a negative influence. Talk about that, what that role means to you, and we'll ask you, Ming.
Well, you gotta have pride in what you play for. I mean, for a leader, you gotta have an example. You gotta set an example for the kids that are coming up and just showing out and help improve how they need to do. And like, they shouldn't just slack off, stuff like that.
And he didn't do anything wrong. Every once in a while, we have a minor problem with our stews, but that's nothing that a good old working over after this section's over with won't hurt. I tell you what, though, you're right. The leadership that's expected out of you, it rubs off. Believe it or not, the younger players follow y'all's examples. With that in mind, Daniel, tell me, what team on the schedule is your natural rivalry or the one that you look forward to playing the most?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't really have a rivalry. Like Coach says, the next game's the most important game, so I just go by that, the next game.
You know what, brother? You got politician written all over you.
Thank you.
but you're right. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Now, you've said the right thing. Ming, do you have one that you like to line up against and say, I want to beat these guys a little more than I want to beat those guys?
I definitely want to beat Hoover more than any other team out there.
Well, I tell you what, guys, Hoover's got a great program, got great athletes, but what's that old saying that if you want to be the best, what? You got to beat the best, right? So, well, that's good. All right, now you guys have been seniors, you've been around the block a while, and you're big, tough, physical football players. Now, what I want to know about you is, do you have any superstitions or any kind of hobbies that if you told me about it, it might surprise me? Example, you're a 10 when you're singing in the shower. When that shower goes off, you're a 1, you know, but we enjoy that. But you might have a sport other than football you really like. What would you tell me? And we'll start with you, Daniel.
For a superstition?
Yeah, or superstition or something about you. Maybe you play the piano, I don't know, you know, that we wouldn't know.
Well, I'd say if, like, before the game, I would just lay down, listen to some good music, and like what I would wear, I'd wear Adidas underwear, same underwear every Friday. It's my lucky underwear.
Well, lucky underwear and the calm before the storm, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're getting mentally focused for it. Ming, how about you?
Well, same thing pretty much, but I have this guy that Raleigh Fowler, he helped me out a lot, and he like passed down some like stuff that he wears like before game, like after game stuff, and he gave it down to me. So I think that's a tradition of having to wear that and going out there.
All right, now both you guys, like I said, you're big, tough football players, been around the program a while. Think about this question for a split second. What is it about football you enjoy the most? What is it you dislike the most? And don't pretend the coach is not there. He can't hear what you're going to say, okay?
I just like hitting people.
Really?
And dislike?
Physical,
not really
you
a
like
fan.
that contact.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Just not a fan of conditioning.
Oh,
not
okay.
a big fan of it.
See, if we could do that with conditioning, you'd love to do the hitting, right? But the thing about it takes a combination of that too. You got to be physically ready to do what you want to do. How about you, man?
I think I like working as a team because I'm not too good of an individual guy. So like working as a team really helps me a lot.
Yeah, that team concept keeps you motivated and everything. All right, now look, there's strange things about books. None of us really like to study, but some of us do. But the point of the matter is, if you don't qualify in the classroom, you don't make it to the athletic field. With that thought in mind, what are the subjects you enjoy the most, and what has that classroom meant to you in these 12 years?
I would say math and science, because like science just interests me. Like, I just like learning about the human body and stuff. And math, I've always been good at it, like calculating numbers.
When now being a senior, when you go off to college, do you know whether or not you may be on a scholarship, or do you have a college you want to go to? And if you do, what kind of courses you want to take?
I'm planning on majoring in engineering at Alabama, just
Okay.
taking like physics classes.
Boy, you got winter written all over your face if you go to Tuscaloosa.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not only are they number one on the field, we're number one in the classroom, folks. Don't look like it maybe sometimes, but we are. Well, that's terrific. Have you ever had, with the athletic background you've been involved in, you and your family, you ever thought about doing what Brother Bell does over there coaching?
Never know.
Yeah, well, you never know. Because I got a feeling he'll tell you this. A lot of head coaches didn't start out wanting to be a coach and ended up being some of the best in the business. How about you?
I'm not too sure yet. It's either Alabama or UAB, some medical school. I'm trying to get into nursing.
Oh, okay. Well, on the back burner, do you ever see yourself maybe somehow getting affiliated into high school coaching or teaching, or you feel more led in the medical field?
I mean, I love the sport, football. I mean, I would love to coach, but in a way, I feel like nursing is like...
Yeah, and you never can tell how something like that might end up in your life. Well, both you guys being seniors, one question I always enjoy asking you young athletes, to this point in your life, who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
I'd have to say Coach Bell. Not trying to kiss up, I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know.
That
That was a pretty good kiss, but that's a compliment too. I understand what you're saying, that he's meant a lot to you so far, right? Okay, how about you, man?
I think it's the same way. He works very hard for us, stays every day, preaches to us how good we need to be, and just he works really hard.
Let me tell you, the coaches do two things for you that you'll never forget your whole life. One, they prepare you for that athletic field, those games on Friday night, and they prepare you for life after high school. And so, guys, you look like you're two great young gentlemen. I hope you have a great rest of the year. Love to see you in the playoffs. Be one of these people that knock off Hoover. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
But good luck to you in whatever you do, okay? Folks, you know what the Snapper always says, till we'll see you again. Bicycle.